meeting. My name is Ann Ruby. It's my privilege to be the chairman of this group, and I appreciate you all being here. Thank you. So that's the call to order. First, we're going to start with our code compliance report from Mariah Quinn. Here's Mariah.
Good evening, everyone. I don't have too much going on because we've been busy with Bike Week. However, I do have an update about the Tiernanog building on East ISB. It's up for condemnation right now, but the owners submitted paperwork to try to get that stopped. So we're kind of in a holding pattern while we wait on the court proceeding to decide what they're going to let them do with the building. So I might have an update on the next meeting for that. And as far as Code's been working with the police department for Bike Week, just offering support like we normally do. And so far we haven't had any significant issues to speak of. Everything's been pretty quiet on our end. So if any of you have any questions, I'm happy to answer. Hi.
There's the corner of, and this is for the event, the corner of A1A and Main Street. It's the southeast corner. So they knocked a building down there within the last couple of years. It's all unimproved. Why are they able to set up food trucks and multiple vendors on those particular lots?
Well, they have to apply for their permits to do these, to hold events on those. And so if it was approved through the city, we have a
But why is that being approved? Isn't that something that was never?
That's the board that approved it. Everything goes in front of the boards and they allowed it and approved it. It's not the first year that they've done it, unfortunately. Yeah. And it's the entire whole parcel. They can have as many people there as they want. It's a constant complaint. We don't like it either, but unfortunately it was approved.
Yeah.
All right.
They do have meetings before the event, so please go to the meetings and say your 2 cents. Yeah. We appreciate it.
Because they'll probably be back next time again.
Yeah, and Biketoberfest. They were there for Biketoberfest.
Yeah.
So, all right.
Yeah.
Okay.
The buildings on ISB you mentioned.
Yeah.
Is the dispute whether who wants to pay like the city wants to charge him to tear it all down, or he wants to tear it down himself?
He doesn't want to tear it down.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, he doesn't. He wants to try to revitalize it. So it's going through the legal
That person
process.
owns all those, like the old subway and all that? Or
I don't think
the old
he.
Schroeder?
I think this just pertains to Tiernanog.
Oh.
What's the building's name?
It's called Tiernanog. It's an Irish pub.
Okay, and comedy show.
Yeah, they do all kinds of stuff. They have music nights and comedy shows and all kinds of things there. Okay, if that's.
Now, I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
I don't know if this is for you or not. What do we do about the homeless people?
Let that up.
Yeah. Hold, please.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. All right, I'll turn you guys over. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, our next guest is Captain Trish Jones, who's in charge of this area.
But I'm louder. It's all gonna fall. It's okay, I'm good, I'm loud. They can hear me. Good evening.
Good evening.
So as you know, it's Bike Week. We're in full swing. It's been a good event so far. Traffic has been busy, but Main Street has been a decent crowd. Nothing crazy yet. Anticipate tonight really kicking up. MMB the same. There really hasn't been anything there, which we're grateful for. It's been a good event so far other than traffic. We've had some crashes, no fatalities in the city yet, so we hope to keep it that way. We've been hitting the Seabreeze Bridge because there's a lot of complaints. They get stuck in traffic on Main Street and Speedway, so they come down Seabreeze Bridge and want to haul butt over. So we've been up there, especially Fridays and Saturday nights, writing some tickets, welcoming them to the event in true fashion of Daytona. So we've been out and about with that. Come April, we're going to staff up our bike event or our bike unit, which we consider the boardwalk unit. So the resumes are out. I'm not sure how many officers are actually going to be assigned to it. We're still in the talking phase of how we're going to staff that and what we're going to do with it. But you will see increased controls over here on Seabreeze, Main Street, Boardwalk, Beach Street, the whole core area of the tourist district. They'll be out on bicycles. So that will be our hope that hopefully come the tourist times and the hot season that you'll see the patrol officers out there and the increased homeless issues that we have will hopefully decrease. It is a constant complaint, probably the number one complaint over here in the district, over here specifically, is the quality of life and homeless issues. Our hands are still tied when it comes to the injunction. We still don't have a ruling. The last I asked legal, they said it could be another year, and I laughed and said we can't wait another year. We need something to be able to enforce, so there are talks every day of what do we do, because it is a revolving door. We literally, I asked my bike guys the other day, they will make an arrest at 6 a.m. at one of the parks, and as they're going home to work from work, they will see the same person being released that same day. It's just a constant battle. It is bigger than the police department, but there are a lot of conversations of what do we need to do, because it is getting worse. Unfortunately, people come here to work the events. We just had one gentleman that came for race week out of state saying, hey, there's an event in this town, I'm gonna go, it looks beautiful, I'm gonna work. He worked race week and never went home, and he's a homeless guy, and he just created problems at our Halifax hospital and was in custody and not gonna go anywhere now, so he's going to be our problem, and that is pretty frequent. We'll see it during bike week. We're gonna pick up a couple extra homeless people during bike week because they come here for the event, they got a little bit of work, and then they just stay, and it's a great place to be homeless because we have beachfront property, right? Great weather, and unfortunately we do have resources, people do feed them, and it's a constant battle. So I don't have an answer of how the solution, but I can tell you there are many people at the table that we have to do something because what we're doing is not working. So hopefully we'll have some great ideas here soon and at least see an improvement. We are telling our legal team consistently that we need some enforcement action because driving down the street and then being able to panhandle, standing on the side of the road, approaching cars, it's not safe. It doesn't work anymore. Someone's going to get hurt. So hopefully in the next couple weeks we'll be able to do more, but I don't have an answer for you.
Okay, another question.
Yes.
We're the ones that the guy went right into our backyard and stole our 24-foot extension ladder. He pulled right in the neighbor's driveway, went right back there, buttered it up, took off. And I have the police report, but nothing's done.
You haven't heard from a detective?
No,
Okay, let me you have the case number?
I do.
Okay, I'll get with you after the meeting.
Okay.
That's not acceptable. That's not how we do business.
Absolutely, because we reported a guy going down the street, trying to check in a box next door, but it was really heavy, so he left it. Within 15 minutes, a police officer was there.
Good.
So people on the street like you that knows what's going on in the neighborhood, we don't need a detective, we need somebody on the street that knows what's going on in our neighborhood.
I can tell you our detectives over here, they are assigned specifically to this district. They are awesome. They are on it. They are busy, but they are absolutely excellent. We have the best detectives. So the fact that you haven't heard from them is kind of alarming, but they are very thorough. If they can make an arrest, they will absolutely make an arrest. We're very fortunate to have the detectives we have assigned here.
But your ladder was stolen in
No, it was 27, so now that 30
Yeah, that's
days
a
is-
little abnormal. Usually within 2 weeks, they're in touch with you. So I don't know what happened. Let me do some research and
I
figure it
can tell
out.
you, the lady at the desk there said, we have stacks of reports that we haven't gotten to. This is at the ballot.
Yeah, that's not acceptable. That's not okay with us.
A detective came down, spent 15 minutes talking to me, tell me why I'm not a priority.
No.
So that's.
I need details from you because that's not how we do business.
I'm
so
not-
I
I'm sure I'm not
apologize.
the only one here that has issues, so.
but what are you trying to catch up poacher pilots? We have a problem with poacher pilots.
Yes.
doing that.
Yes, we've actually got a couple in the last couple
Yeah,
weeks.
we
So
actually
video
do.
surveillance, ring cameras, really, really helpful. If you don't have that, please look at whatever platform. It is extremely helpful to us. North Oleander was a big problem and a lot of the neighbors were able to help us with identifying people based on ring cameras. So we are huge, not that you have to use Ring, there's other platforms, but huge fan of video surveillance.
Are there any committees put together with like the citizens and the city to try and deal with the homeless situation? To maybe work with like the churches that are doing outreach and?
I don't know, I know there's some talks amongst the commissioners, I don't know if they're planning on doing any kind of work groups, but that we have conversations pretty frequent with other parties. I will pass on the message to the commissioners that I know are working on this, that you guys are willing to be involved and want to be involved.
Yeah, because I think if we can have a group discussion about removing the resources that draws them into the
Yeah.
community, it's gonna take everyone, not just the
Absolutely.
city, not just
Absolutely.
citizens, so.
Absolutely, and we don't have the answer. I mean, if we would have the answer, the police department would have already solved it because we're tired of dealing with it, but we don't have the answer. We need everybody's help.
Just remove the resources.
Yeah. No, I will definitely tell the commissioners that you guys are interested in doing something together.
One thing they talked about it last night at the commission meeting, mental health.
Yeah.
You keep getting skipped, I'm sorry.
They have I was reading in.
Something available for where they can be, they can only be Baker active for 2 days.
Hang on just a minute, cause she started her question, I'll get back to you, Miss Sue, sorry.
Well, I've been trying to figure this out because once that kid got stabbed, we have kids that we're worried about them. And then the day before that stabbing, we had a post of all this garbage just everywhere. And it was on the way to Ocean Avenue, so right around that area. So with it, I looked in St. Pete's and Fort Lauderdale, and I think maybe Miami has a good neighbor program that they do with all the outreach groups, with the different businesses and churches, anything that's doing a service like that, where they have an expectation of what their job is. So like 7-Eleven, getting them to agree to start doing pickup and stuff. So some of it's just how we present ourselves because we're not getting off of it.
Is that stuff out there on the internet that you could pull, what they're doing?
I found.
So is it like city sanctioned of this is what the requirement is to be able to?
Usually the city has something to do with it, and they work with a certain amount of residents, churches, businesses that agree, come together, and then they can do it as voluntary, but they've also moved to attach it to permits. So you can feed people and have the charitable organization, but if we figure out that you're not following up on what is responsible for taking care of the other citizens, then we'll pull that permit and you'll no longer be able to do that, or you'll be fined.
Where did you find that stuff?
Well,
Do you remember? Or can you send it to me?
Yeah, I can send it to you.
Okay, I'll get you, I have a card in the car.
Yeah.
I mean, we're looking at other cities of what they're doing, a lot of it comes down to enforcement, but jail is not the solution either, cause they're just back out and keep doing the thing, so what's the root of the problem? And we don't know, we don't have the answer to that, we're not unique to it, there's other cities still dealing with that, Jacksonville has a huge problem too, St. Augustine. But if we can solve our problem, well, we don't really care about the other cities, right? So we're open to ideas, and that sounds like it may be an option. Miss Sue?
Okay, 40% of them are mentally ill. We have no facility for them.
Well, we have SMA, but I don't know what their,
They don't have enough room.
yeah. I mean, nobody does. Again, I don't have the solution to it. It's going to take everybody and everybody on the same page and everybody committing to the long-term, what can we do long-term? The fix of let's just arrest them all doesn't work.
On Facebook, one of my neighbors down the street, I live on Manhattan, posted a picture of a guy going down the street doing the door handles, so.
We actually had an arrest. It was down on Bostwick, just last week. It was he had an address, but I would venture to say he was homeless and he was trying door handles, probably because it was a little chilly that night. He actually got into a home, the lady was home, and she woke up to him standing in her bedroom. It's absolutely scary. We were able to make the arrest, thankfully, and she's okay, but he hit 3 homes prior to us making that arrest. And the mental health, everything goes hand in hand. You never know what they're capable of or what they're gonna do, and some of them are extremely violent, even with us. But we are definitely trying to come up with some sort of solution. The chief talks about it probably daily of, hey, what do you guys think about this? And again, I agree with you guys, it's gonna take more than just the police department. But we're not ignoring the problem. When we can make an arrest, we will make an arrest, and we do, because we know these are nuisance problems. If they are trespassing, if they are doing something illegal, we will make the arrest because we have no other choice. We can't look the other way. And hopefully maybe getting into the system, they are offered resources, sometimes by the state attorney, maybe that can solve some of the problems. It's not gonna be the know-all be-all.
Okay, well, I mean, you could see facial pictures of the guy, so.
Yes. Yep.
And, you know, we have a problem in the area, particularly in our street with the slum landlords. And that's not helping with the vagrants because they're all up and down, trying to get in those.
I can tell you our
Somebody
code
arrested
enforcement
the other
is
day.
super busy and they're really good at what they do. It's a slow process. So about a year ago, the chief initiated what we call a special projects team, and they are amazing. They are actually demolishing buildings. They work with public works, they work with code. They are making huge improvements that we've never seen in years. It's just code enforcement is really slow process, but they are out there working. Code enforcement, along with us, just made an arrest on a scheme to defraud the guy at the 2 parcels on Speedway, the Chernog she was talking about. the guy didn't own the property, but he was authorizing all this work on the property and claiming to be the owner. So they are on top of things, they are doing amazing things. It's just, code is extremely slow, and they are busy. You drive around the city, unfortunately, no neighborhood is unique to having code enforcement issues. Everybody has a code problem, unfortunately, and that's not a good thing, but they are on it. It's just really slow, but I can tell you, Public Works, if they can knock down a building, they're excited to do so, because it helps all of us.
Oh, yeah.
So it's
Okay,
moving.
last question, gentleman in the back.
When I call Teresa Code Enforcement, she's a big help, and they
Yes.
get on it right away.
Yes.
The property at ISB and A1A, the two empty lots, they just cleaned it today. There was probably a ton
Yeah,
of garbage in there, and it stunk so bad
Yeah.
from the paraphernalia.
Yeah.
I went in there a week or so ago and made videos and sent them to Commissioner Ken
Yeah.
Strickland, who I never heard from. But Stacy Cantu, she
Yeah.
took care of it. She made phone calls, she was on top of it,
Yeah.
and it's cleaned up now.
yeah,
I
our
had to make
Public
two or-
Works is
I had to make
amazing.
2 or 3 videos of that
Yeah.
disgusting mess there.
Yep.
A minute walk from the world's most famous beach.
Yep, they're making improvements. Sometimes it's a little slow, but they are on it.
And the last Thursday, I'm on my bicycle by the streamline, a guy throws a brick at me.
Yes,
He's at the county jail right now. for
Yes, he
aggravated
is.
assault with a deadly weapon. That was me.
yes, he is.
All because I cut by and saw these people sleeping there at the streamline and said, oh, what's going on? There's a party, because they have all kinds of bicycle parts hanging in the trees. I don't know if you saw the video.
No, I heard about the incident though.
Right, and, anyway, I'm just glad he's out there, but hopefully,
Yeah.
hopefully they'll do the right thing, and he did the same thing in 2016, it was an aggravated battery with a deadly weapon. He
Yeah.
had a year and 6 months back on the streets, probably a year and 3 or a year and 2.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay.
All right.
So, so you're gonna get with this lady after?
I'm gonna give you guys cards, and I would love to,
Okay.
if you could send me, so I've gotta grab that car, but.
Okay, thank you very much. Oh, yeah, I'm good. All right. Next, we're on to our Secretary Treasurer's report. Jared, would you like to come up here and give that, please?
Hello, so we have a couple of things. For general fund, and if you want these numbers specifically, they are on our agendas, so you can take a look at those. But our general fund doesn't change much. We have a balance of $631.43. The B&W barbecue fund, which this is a big time of year for that, so we do have some changes in that. We had a beginning balance of $2,346.14. We had some donations, one from Ken Strickland, one from Derek Henry, Paula Reed, and one from Danette Henry, totaling $2,500, bringing up our balance of $4,846.14. We had $618.80 in cookout expenses. Ted has reminded us that those expenses are up, but he's always very frugal and pretty amazing with getting us our food at good prices. Then we also, we had another donation from Quinita May to add it to that. So we end up with our expenditures from our barbecue event this week, end up with a balance of $5,358.77.
All right, thank you, Jared. Okay, now we're on to our announcements. First announcement is somebody's gonna pass the hat. We meet here for free every month. Lady of Lourdes lets us meet here. They help us, Hillary helps us with the AV equipment, presentation stuff, and we get to use their kitchen when we're preparing the food for the cookouts. So generally we collect money for the barbecue fund, but our barbecue fund's feeling pretty good right now, so I'm hoping that we can pass the hat and collect to donate to the church, because they're an invaluable resource for us as a group. Thank you. So who's passing the hat? All right, Sharon's gonna pass the hat, which is really a basket. I wanted to let you know, there is a Bike Week Master Plan Committee that reviews, Kim, the applications for, Kim? There's a Bike Week Master Plan Committee that reviews the applications for the Bike Week Master Plan, which is how that lot gets approved. There's supposed to be residents on that committee. So if you wanna talk to me, I don't think there's any residents anymore, because the last one left. So, are you on it now?
No, I'll volunteer though.
Okay, so yeah, find me afterwards, and I don't remember the hows and how you get there. You do have to meet a couple times a year for Biketoberfest or Bike Week, and review the applications, but the more people residents that are on the committee and speak up, the better. So, yeah, I figured you might join.
And I went and looked it up after I.
Okay, good.
I just didn't tell anyone else.
Okay, so I just wanted to put that out there. If you're interested in being on the Bike Week Master Plan Committee, find me afterwards. There is going to be March 10th. March 10th, this is an election year, 2026. There are 2 candidates for Zone 1, Monica Paris, who's the incumbent, and John Navarra, who is her challenger. There's going to be a debate here next Monday, March 10th. I think one of the doors open at 6 p.m. So if you're interested in hearing, we usually do questions in a forum format, so I'm gonna come and see what their debate format looks like. But I think it would be good to come and hear them speak to each other. So even if you don't live in Zone 1, it might be good to come and hear that. The city has a great app. It's called DB City Connect. And on that app, there's little links to different departments. One of the things that's on there is a thing called See, Click, Fix. So if you're walking by something like a pile of garbage, you can take a picture of it and submit it through See, Click, Fix. And you don't have to worry, you should tell them where it is, but you don't have to worry, is this the city, is this the county, is this the state? They'll tell you, but they'll write back if it's not their jurisdiction. But it's good to get it on file, that you found this issue, like streetlights that are out, or piles of garbage. So I encourage you to look up the DB City Connect, it's on here, and also to start using See, Click, Fix, because it's an invaluable resource. Now, we're gonna hear from Ted, who's gonna give us an update on our cookout for this so far, and call for volunteers. Do you wanna come up here, or you wanna yell from there?
I could yell.
Okay, yell.
Vernon and me, were the main, components down there this week, and, I said we fed 120 or so a
I
day.
think it was 120 that we fed, both days.
Yeah, at minimum, and they're eating everything in sight. You know, a lot of the old timers are gone with all that keto, no bun stuff. These guys are all meat eaters, and anything we put out, they eat. So our costs are up, but the commissioners were very generous this year, which I hope they continue, because you know, our food costs have gone up. But believe me, anybody here wants to come down, we're at Harvey Police Station, that's Harvey and Wild Olive, in the parking lot. We serve food from 11 to 6 at night. So you could come out, you could have a hamburger, a hot dog, sit with the police. You know, you could help us, you know, doing whatever little chores we have. But it's a good way to interact with the police, and it's a good time usually. So Fridays and Saturdays, we serve from 11 to 6.
But that's just, there's only one more weekend that we're doing that.
Yeah, we always need help setting up and knocking down. But if you come and we have enough help, you could eat and hang around, or, you know, and if we have a overabundance of volunteers. Because a lot of times we gotta wait until they come, and then when they come, what did we feed our record?
It was like 70.
72 we fed in 15 minutes. So when they do come, we got 2 grills and we staged the food, but that was amazing that we got 72 people to that line in about 15 minutes. And
that's because this one over here pre-cooks. All the hamburgers and stuff are pre-cooked and put out in the pan, so he's the reason we're able to do that.
Yep, and the cookout is the reason they're able to get hot meals when during Bike Week they can't get away and the restaurants in the area are all crowded. So it's really helpful. So thank you all. Okay, on the back of your agenda, there is a resolution that I'm gonna ask we take a vote on tonight. I don't know how many of you know, but there was a City Island Rec Center. It was built for the WACs when the WACs were here during World War II. It was used by the city until 2012. It was abandoned, and it fell into such grave disrepair that they wanted to tear it down. We learned more about the history of it, and the city actually formed a committee to try and save it. We put together a great plan, but we could not find a private partner to join with the city. So the building has been torn down. And the resolution is for us to honor the women who served in World War II, whose work was incredibly invaluable to the troops and to the country, to the war effort, by creating a Wax at Work Memorial Park. And the vision would be that it would have interactive statues. So, Wax worked to repair Jeeps. So we would have, a statuary of Wax repairing Jeeps, but there would be a place where someone could take a selfie and get in there. And the goal would be to create a park like that, because so many people don't know of that initial contribution of women in the military and how important it was and how much they went through and so they deserve more than a plaque. They deserve more than a statue that looks like this or like this. There's a lot of those around, but people learn things sometimes through having fun with it. And that's our goal, to create something educational, slightly entertaining, and we're asking for a vote to send to the city that B&W supports that effort. And it would be something that would be developed over time, so it's not a government outlay immediately. So, all in favor? All right, all opposed? Okay, great, thank you. Appreciate you listening, yeah.
We have all this Memorial Bridge and Memorial Plaza, and there's not one mention of any female contribution to that.
Right.
If you go
That's
on
our
a
whole
bridge,
deal.
I'll give you $50 if you find any mention of women on the bridge.
Oh yeah, Sue will give you $50 if you can find any mention of women on the bridge. So Tammy walks the bridge all the time, maybe you can make $50, Tammy.
I doubt the person,
Yeah.
period.
Yeah.
They're not that, I
No.
don't think that highly of them.
Okay, so we're gonna race through the rest of the announcements because we have a very interesting speaker. First Step Shelter Board Meeting, that is the homeless shelter that we currently have. They have board meetings every month, and it's good if you wanna go and hear what's going on there. And if you have concerns about wanting additional services for the homeless, that's not a bad forum to start expressing that desire. So that is that's on your agenda, March 9th, 4:30 at the Yvonne Scarlett Golden Center. The Beachside Redevelopment Board is meeting next Wednesday, 6 o'clock at City Hall. The redevelopment boards are citizen volunteer boards for the CRAs, the redevelopment areas. Recently, the commission has asked that more things pass through them. It used to be they only had to vote on certain items. Now they're being asked to vote on pretty much anything that spends CRA funds. So those meetings are getting interesting. I want to recommend a book called Performative Outrage: How Manufactured Fury Undermines Local Government and Public Service. It's 91 pages, it's an easy read. As someone who goes to a lot of commission meetings, like everyone, there's been a lot of outrage expressed. And it's okay to be mad. Well, there's a lot of things to be mad about. But how do you turn that into constructive processes for the community? And so this is a great book to kind of, as a reminder, it can't just be about the performative outrage. It can't just be about manufactured fury. So it's here if somebody wants to borrow it. Okay, I want to thank people. So thank you to the board. This group runs with a great board. We have Ted, so you can raise your hands. Ted, there's Ted. Vern, there's Vern. Sharon, I'm putting Sharon on our board. Jared, Kelly, who's not here, and Ken, who's not here, and I always miss somebody. Sue Odina, who's right there. And Treasurer Jared, I think I said Jared. Did I?
I guess I didn't raise my hand, but I got it for later.
And then I also want to acknowledge the great people here at Lady of Lourdes who help us, and that's Hillary. She helps us every meeting when we need AV equipment. We don't have any elected or public officials here tonight. So now we're gonna get to our guest speaker at long last. Thank you. Thank you for waiting patiently. Yes.
I have a question for you.
What's that?
Over near by the library at City Island, and they have like a park there where they used to feed the homeless, and they used to let them under the shelter when it was raining and not in the hot sun, cover them up. And who decided they could not use that shelter anymore?
I don't know. The answer is I don't know. Okay. This is you are the Director of Properties and Administration at the airport. Mihai Shmigowski. All right, thank you. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. I just wanted to say that I'm honored to speak to you today, and I represent the airport on behalf of Cyrus Callum, the Department Director for the airport and the Economic Development Division of the County of Volusia. I am honored and pleased to speak to you, and I thank you for letting me in your meeting and to, I see concerned citizens that are trying to do good for the community, a united group, and it's just wonderful to see this organization and the fact that people care and they do take action, and the community is better for that reason. My name is Mihai Shmigowski. I oversee properties and administration at the airport. We are blessed to have a beautiful airport in Daytona Beach. How many of you, by raise of hands, have you flown out of the airport? Okay, wonderful. How many flew out of the airport recently, last few months? Okay. Have you noticed a new airline at the airport? One more, after Breeze. JetBlue. That was a trick question. JetBlue is back, and we're glad to have them. They provide, they fly daily to JFK and to Boston, so we have 2 daily JetBlue flights. We were surprised when they announced service. We were hoping for just 1 daily to New York. We got Boston as a bonus, which is great for the community. Not sure which. There we go.
Yeah.
So, besides being a beautiful local airport, community-owned, the airport has also won some honors recently. And we were named the Commercial Service of the Year in 2021 and in 2024 by the Florida Department of Transportation. So this is a great honor because there are a lot of good airports, well-run airports, but they chose us. Why? Because we're well-run, we're efficient, we're beautiful, we're friendly, and people love us. And we got nominated for this awards. On this screen, you will see the 5 airlines that are providing service at Daytona Beach International Airport. So you have Delta that provides direct service to Atlanta. Atlanta is one of the largest hubs in the country, as you well know, and you can go almost anywhere in the world from there. We have American that provides daily service to Charlotte. And again, you can go almost anywhere in the world flying American. But about a couple of years ago, we managed to bring Avelo to Daytona Beach. And it's kind of like dominoes. When one falls, the rest of the dominoes fall after it. After Avelo started with service to Wilmington, Delaware, not Wilmington, North Carolina. Wilmington, Delaware is south of Philadelphia, so it's considered to be serving the Philadelphia metropolitan area. And then also to New Haven, Connecticut. About a year later, Breeze started service, and they started, so Avelo is service to those 2 destinations twice a week. So 2 flights to each destination. Breeze came to Daytona Beach, flying under the same model. 2 flights to 5 destinations. They started with Hartford, with Providence, and Westchester County, New York, which is just north of Manhattan. You can get on the train and make it to the city in a reasonable period of time. And same thing actually from New Haven. And then they added Raleigh, Durham, and Akron Canton in Ohio. Thank you. In December, we added JetBlue to the airport. There's a lot of work that goes behind the scenes to bring airlines to the airport. We would bring everybody if we could. Unfortunately, there are businesses that are accountable to their shareholders, and they have to make a profit in order to serve a route or a community. I just met with airlines today, and I don't know if you guys are familiar with how airports operate. Airports pretty much are self-sustaining. Larger airports like us, like commercial service airports like Daytona Beach, we pretty much operate as a business, but we're also a governmental organization. So we're kind of a hybrid in between. We derive our own revenues, our own funds. So if you don't use the airport, you don't pay anything for the airport. Airlines pay rent, they pay landing fees. Concessionaires pay a percentage of their revenue to the airport, like the rental cars, the restaurant, the shop. We collect parking revenue. We have businesses at the airport that pay land rental or facility rentals. We also have customer facility charges. We have passenger facility charges. All this money comes in and gets put into a fund, and that's what funds our operations, airport operations. We also receive federal grants, which are used for capital improvement at the airport, like for the runways, taxiways, and other non-revenue producing facilities. We receive state grants from the Florida Department of Transportation. And we also get other kind of grants depending on what is available out there. That money is restricted for capital improvements. It cannot be used for operating expenses. This is a map of the destinations. But 2022, we only had 2 destinations, Atlanta and Charlotte. Now we have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 destinations. In a very short period of time, we've increased air service plus direct flights. And as you know, a lot of people prefer direct flights. They don't have to change. They're not subject to the weather, to delays, missing your flight, your connection. When I travel, I build at least a 2-hour connection gap in the hubs because I'm always paranoid. I'm not going to make my next flight. So if you miss your flight, and especially if your connecting flight is a last flight of the night, you're sleeping at the airport. That's why direct flights are great. But if you don't have critical mass, or if you're not a large enough community to support direct flights to a destination, they're not going to happen. So a hub is your best option if direct flights are not feasible. We also do a lot of work to support these flights, the air service. We obviously go into the community, talk about the airport, we brag about it. People brag to us about our airport because actually you can make it to your gate between, parking your car to gate is 15 minutes or less. Plus we have a nice restaurant, we have a gift shop, we have a business center, we have a mother's room, and we've just undergone through major renovation about a few years ago, 2019 to 2022. The airport is very pleasing aesthetically. We're making further improvements. We have more to do. We are not stopping. But we get a lot of good feedback from the community in terms of using the airport. So if you are traveling, please use your local airport. Use your airport because that's what supports the community and helps the community grow and helps us spread the word that the community is using the airport. We not only advertise and support new service like JetBlue, Breeze, and Avelo, we support our existing service with American and Delta to make sure that these airlines do add frequencies and do increase the aircraft size. So that means a lot more business for them. Their operating cost per unit gets lower, and that makes them even more willing to serve the airport. So in 2025, we had a record number of passengers, and that's a recent record. It's the highest passenger traffic since 1997. Our capacity has increased tremendously, and we have seen interest, because when airline comes, then everybody else comes. Kind of like they spread the word that Daytona is looking for service, and then they do the math and like, oh, we got JetBlue back. Of course, we had JetBlue, and JetBlue left. And there's a lot of talk in the community and say, oh, they got incentives and they left when the incentives ran out. And you know, when the reality is that there was a different economic environment, there was a different circumstances happening, and the airline had other issues that went into making this decision, and they didn't just stop service here, they stopped service at a bunch of other airports, okay? So, as tough as that is, they haven't forgotten us, and as soon as there was an opportunity to come back, they did. And we have their full support. I was on a conference call for that, not on a conference call, a meeting and conference call with the airlines this afternoon, negotiating the rates and charges, trying to ask them for money. Hey, we need more money because we met these needs. They're like, well, how can we get away with not paying you more money? Because, you know, we like it the way it is. When we kept the rates low for a very long time, just to make sure that they don't leave and they stay and they grow. But as we all know, prices have increased, cost of living has gone up, our cost of construction, everything has gone up, including labor. So we have no choice, but we have to also rise our costs. So they are reasonable, they will talk to you, and we're gonna achieve that goal, but we're not gonna get everything I'm asking for. I'm gonna have to be open to and be flexible to achieve a good balance that is fair and reasonable. And we have to, we have a lot of rules, regulations that we have to comply with. And one of the most important ones are the grant assurances that we have to sign when we get a grant from the federal government. And one of the grant assurances says you have to set the rates and charges that are fair and reasonable. We can't just say, pay us this, because they're not fair and reasonable. We have to have a basis for it, and we can't just increase them to where we think they're going to be. We have to consult with them, and that makes for a partnership between the airport, the airlines. We have the TSA that also has to provide services. As the airlines bring flights to the airport, TSA has to have more people working the checkpoint. The restaurant is making more money, they increase staff. So that in turn combines into an economic impact for the community, because that means more jobs, more money in the local area, a multiplier effect, and we're all better for it. I keep on going in the wrong direction. This chart here is a chart that shows a picture of where the airport has been and where we hope the airport is going, okay? It's hard to read, but the first year on the left is 1979. That's when the records, they started to keep records. And that's soon after the county took over the airport from the city of Daytona Beach. I'm going to remove the mic. Okay. I was anchored there. I don't know. I like to walk around. Don't give me the microphone. I won't let it go. So you can see the passenger numbers increasing, and what you are looking at is the total passengers. That's the sum of people getting into the airplanes and off the airplanes. Okay, and that gives you a true picture of how many people are using the airport. You can see an increase and then a valley, and then a very significant upturn, and the peak there on the left, that is 1990. I don't know if you lived here during that period, but there was a big industry, a big company in town. GE had a plant, and there was a lot of business. So the airport was growing. The airport made plans to build a terminal, and we built a terminal. The terminal opened in 1992. That's the yellow bar there. Well, what happened after that, at that point, the GE plant closed. So the passenger volumes dropped. The perception in the community may have been, well, you just built an expensive terminal, so the airlines left because now you're expensive. Well, we didn't charge them more, we didn't increase their cost, we just built a new terminal. But the fact that the plant closed didn't factor into the community. So the perception was, you built it and they left. Well, you built it, and then we faced a decade of declining traffic, and then 9/11 happened. The red lines here are 9/11, 2010, 2001, and 2001. Everybody was suffering. Air traffic halted, everybody went down. Then we had a little recovery, and then the recession hit. 2008, 2009, or 2007, depending. Okay? We had a little bit of a recovery after that, and then we got JetBlue. The blue lines there are the three really nice growth bars that represent JetBlue, and they're blue because JetBlue. But then JetBlue left. Traffic went down, and then COVID happened. Look how big an impact COVID had on air travel. The impact was bigger than 9/11. Well, we recovered, and then we got the velo. That's the purple line. See the sharp increase? We took a little dip after that, and then we got Breeze. And then we got JetBlue. And we are at the end of the blue and looking at the green into the future. So it's green because we are hoping for a very prosperous future. And we're forecasting to reach and surpass our top year in the very near future. So please support us and fly DAB. This is a picture of the airport. It's a Google Earth aerial picture. We have 3 runways. The main runway is east-west. Runway 7 left to 5 right is 10,500 feet. And you can take off from that runway and go all the way to Europe. Or vice versa. You can fly direct from Europe and land here. We have a short runway to the south. It's only 3,500 feet, and that is used very heavily for flight training. We also have a north-south runway. That's about 7,001 foot. And that is used when the winds blow from the north or from the south. Smaller airplanes really can't handle a lot of crosswind. They have to, and especially if you have a beginning pilots or pilots training, okay? I will forever click the wrong way. The shaded, green shaded area is all the property that is owned by the airport. This property was owned by the city of Daytona Beach. It was transferred for the county of Volusia, and it includes the speedway, but it does not include Embry-Riddle. You can see a big portion of the speedway is owned by the airport. That it was a long-term lease signed with the Racing and Recreation District in 1956. It was a deal to establish the speedway. It was done by Bill France and NASCAR. The Racing and Recreation District subleases the land to the International Speedway Corporation. Like I said, I already mentioned the length of the runways. We have about 800 acres inside the fence, about 1,800 total acres, including the land outside of the fence. We are Class C National Airspace System, and we are anywhere between the 3rd, 4th, 5th busiest airport in the state of Florida, consistently, and we're in the top 30 in the country by number of aircraft operations, takeoffs and landings. By passengers, we're nowhere near, we're about 160. But by number of operations, we're very, very busy. There are 10 levels or 12 levels of traffic control tower busy. We're about 9 or 10. We're one of the busier ones. I clicked the right way this time. I have to remember, right is forward, left is back. This is an aerial picture of the day when Daytona 500 happened.
If you need to hold it up a little higher on the microphone.
Okay.
No, but up on the handle, you're covering it.
Okay. Thank you. I'm holding, I'm blocking the receiver. So the purpose of showing this map is to show you how busy we really are during Daytona 500. Cars parked everywhere, inside the speedway and outside of the speedway. Everybody wants to go to the races and they drive to the races, okay? Not only that, we have people fly to the races and we have to park the airplanes. We're out of ramp that day. So what we do is we work with the FAA to close the runway, the north-south runway, and we allow our FBOs to park airplanes on the runway. We charge for that, of course, we make a little money. This is the future. We own land to the south, and we're trying very hard to develop it, but it's raw land. And as you know, with raw land in Florida, there are wetlands, there's woods, and it costs a lot of money to develop it, to produce developable land. So we already worked on a parcel that the arrow points to, that's Aura Aero facility. You may have read the announcements. This company is planning to develop a manufacturing facility to build a next generation 19-seat hybrid electric turbine aircraft. It's a beautiful aircraft. It's gonna be built right here. They already have a facility, a small facility at Embry-Riddle. So the south parcel shows the Amazon facility. It shows the Lexington Phase 1 being built and the future Lexington Phase 2. A potential development concept for the southern property, and also our pie in the sky, we want a cargo operation, a cargo terminal here. Well, you know, we have Orlando an hour and a half away and Jacksonville to the north. So, but we do have an Amazon sorting facility. So Cyrus Callum is working hard to engage with them and see if we can set up a cargo operation at the airport. But we don't own the property there. So the runway is also not extended, but there's a lot of things that have to go right for that to happen. But we are evaluating, we're exploring options, and you know, never know what could tomorrow bring. I did it again. You may be aware of the additional services that we provide. There's one that's not here. We have a postcard program. You can pick up a postcard free. You can put an address on it, send it to a loved one, and we will mail it for free. Just put it in a box, we put postage on it and send it. We have partnered with the Volusia County Library to have books that are out of circulation or extra books. They bring them over and they're free for you to take. You don't have to return them. You can also scan a QR code, get into their video library or audio books, download them for free. We have a mail-back program, so if you have an item that cannot go to the checkpoint, we offer an envelope, you can put it in, they bring it to us and we mail it back to you. Also for lost and found, and that's all free of charge. We also have free baggage cards. We just invested $10,000 in 30 brand new baggage cards that we let our travelers use for free. Larger airports charge $7 per use. This is what a community airport is, and we feel like we're part of the community, and that's our contribution. We want people to fly the AV. You may have noticed our signs are a little bit old and faded. We've been at it, we're putting new signs in. They're going in as we speak. Unfortunately, we had to go through a little bit of a process to get there, but we're finally there. Joanne usually tags with me when ever available, but she wasn't available tonight, so this is a better picture of me. I'm cheating a little bit. So I'd like to open the floor for questions. If you have any questions, please.
I have a question. I've always wondered, why do we call ourselves an international airport? Is it private flights? Where's the customs?
Great question. So Daytona Beach was a regional airport before we worked with the customs and immigration to set up an international terminal. We have an agent here right now because we don't have scheduled service. We're open to private flights. We used to have a Canadian flight that would come in, Sunwing, I believe, and we had flights to Montreal. In the past, there were some flights to Europe, charter flights or tour flights. But we want that also, we're home to the world's most famous beach, and we cannot be a regional airport, sorry. So correct, you can connect from Atlanta to England on a direct flight, you can go anywhere, other places. You also have a new avenue to Europe now, to JFK. You can even do Boston. Go ahead.
Any chance we'll get JetBlue to Philly?
So, great question. We talk to the airlines all the time. It's Joanne's job. You see in her, below her name, it says air service, marketing, customer experience. She has the fun job, but also the hard job of trying to convince the airlines to come to Daytona Beach to fly new routes. We talk to them regularly. We attend air service development conferences. We have an air service consultant, and we're constantly after new service, talking to new airlines, whoever would listen. Obviously, there's a finite number of airlines, and they all look over their shoulder. And I think the reason we got Breeze and JetBlue is because Avelo came first. We're not going to stop. We're going to try to get anything, any new service that anyone is willing to provide, and we're going to go after it. And if that's in the cards, then it will happen.
So, one of the big supporters of all neighborhood groups was Big John. And Big John was the county council chair when this airport was built. And he used to tell the story about when they sent the bond up to New York to get the airport funded, he had signed his legal name, Big John. And they turned around and sent the bond back and said, this is ridiculous. You don't have somebody named Big John. So then he always had to send his driver's license with it. But anyhow, I would like to put you on the spot a little bit. Big John has passed. I am hoping that you could find somewhere in your upper level waiting area, a place where we could put a Big John display that would tie to the Halifax Historical Museum. Is that something we could have a discussion about?
Sure, definitely. We can definitely talk about that. I will be happy to put you in contact with the right people to have this discussion. And yes, I've heard a lot of Big John. I've actually lived here in Daytona Beach. I'm an Embry-Riddle graduate. I'm from Romania originally. I still have an accent, so I can't ever hide my name. But I went to Embry-Riddle and I got my undergraduates, I got my graduates. I actually worked here for all the discount stockbrokers at Bevel and Clyde Morris for 5 years. I don't know if you know that location. So I was here when Big John was around. I never had the privilege to meet him, and I understand he was a big supporter of the airport.
He was, totally. Yeah, thank you. All right, thank you. Does anybody else have questions? Okay, Sue.
Since you're putting up new signs there, are there any signs honoring the veterans that flew out of there during World War II?
There already is a sign, there is a plaque there already. I don't know if you're gonna do another one. You know, when you're going down that covered walkway from the parking lot, you look to the left just before you cross the road, and it's right there.
Yeah, yes, there's a plaque there. It's not as visible as it probably should be, but one thing to note is that the main road coming to the airport is called Midway. It's for a reason. Catalina Drive, there's a reason behind it. We just had a brand new road built from Bevel to Amazon facility. The name is Lexington. So we have a little bit of, we're trying to honor the past and the sacrifices, and so it's not forgotten. It's always at the forefront of our minds.
The other thing is, I wanted to say how nice your business meetings are.
Oh.
That the airport's available for those.
Yes, thank you. We have another thing, and we should brag about it. We don't brag about it enough. We have conference center, the McGee Room, that is been made available, and it can be rented. You can hold events there. A lot of community events are happening. The charter review committee is meeting now regularly. And what's nice about it is that our concessionaire Faber caters, and they do a fantastic job. We also have another room on the west end of the terminal next to the ticket counters called the airline room. That's also available for meetings. And I would strongly encourage you, if you have a need, to give us a call.
Yeah. All right, Fred, did you have a question?
No, I have a question. What percentage of airline traffic is Embry-Riddle?
A very high percentage. We didn't have that data until recently, but I've never been that curious to find out the percentage. But now we have the ability to find out. I'm gonna try to get that percentage. It's very high. We also have ATP, we have Phoenix East, we have other flight schools that are located around Daytona Beach that come to Daytona Beach. And one of the reasons why they come to Daytona Beach to fly, even if they don't, I'm holding from the wrong. I'm trainable, okay? It takes a while though. There's truth to it, you can't teach an old dog a new trick. It's hard. So, where was I?
People coming right here. People coming to
They do come to Daytona Beach. Why? Because Daytona Beach has instrument approaches. You get your private pilot's license, and that allows you to fly around in good weather. Now, when the weather is not so good, or not, I wouldn't say bad, when the visibility isn't good, you can still fly, but you rely on instruments. Those instruments are in the airplane, and there are some on the ground. The ones on the ground help you find the path to land the airplane and find the runway at the right time. That's called an instrument landing system or non-precision system, whichever it is. But the neighboring airports don't have an ILS, an instrument landing system, which is what they train on to get to be an airline transfer pilot or to get your instrument rating. So they come here, or they go to Sanford. Sanford has instrument approaches as well. Okay, well, thank you very much. Thank you for the questions. And it's been a pleasure speaking to you.
Thank you very much. Learned a lot of great things. Thank you. And I personally, I fly out of Daytona Beach every chance I get. I love it. It's fantastic. The only time I don't is if I want a direct flight to Harrisburg.
Well, we can't compete with that.
No, you can't. But thank you. It's a great facility. Thank you. Okay, that is going to conclude our meeting. Next month we're meeting on April 2nd. Our guest speaker will be City Clerk Letitia LaMagna. She's always interesting. She's the keeper of public records. And Florida has the second most liberal public records access laws in the country. You can request any public record you want. You can't ask them to answer a question or create a new report, but you can ask for the public record. And she is very good about providing them. So I look forward to learning more from her.
Just a quick note.
Well, wait 1 second.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I want to just do one more announcement.
All right.
Okay. March 10th, please come here to hear the candidates debate for Zone 1, even if you don't live in Zone 1. If you're not happy with how our city's going, the people in charge are the city commissioners. So come and make sure that you're making informed decisions, or you can advise your friends to make informed decisions about who to vote for in the next commission. Yes, Sue?
Since you work at City Hall, do you know when the town hall is supposed to be over here?
What town hall?
BH are supposed to have, we're supposed to be the first of these town halls.
I have not heard anything about that, but I'll look into it.
Okay.
Okay, and now Hillary.
Just a quick.
The next meeting here is on Thursday, the 2nd of April. There is also, that is also Holy Thursday, there is a mass in the church at 6 o'clock. So don't be dissuaded if you see a lot of cars. You might not get to park as close as you usually do, or you can come early. and you can park closer and then make everybody else who has to go to church walk a little further, which is fine. They're gonna walk anyways. But I just wanted to let you know you might see more cars than usual on a Thursday night. We do have mass that night. It's the evening mass of the Lord's Supper. It's part of Triduum. But we're opening the space up. And so, you're all invited. Just know that if you want good parking, you might have to get here a little before 6.
And don't be fooled that everybody won't be at PNW. So, thank you, I appreciate that heads up, Hillary. Thank you all so much for coming. I hope you've enjoyed the meeting. I hope you learned something. And welcome. Thank you. See you next month, I hope. Bye.